So welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show here on Channel 1 Television. On The Point of View, we pick the right topics, we get the right guests, and ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you. We've dealt with roads before on the program, but tonight we have a very special angle to the roads conversation. The rains that have come upon us, particularly the 29th June rain, have caused havoc not just in terms of flooding and filth, but also in affecting the quality of existing roads and also road construction. So tonight we're discussing the rains and our roads. We'll be taking you across the country to examine the effect of some of the past few days' rain on key road projects. We'll speak to key correspondents who've been covering these roads and also speak to an engineer with the Highway Authority to explain what really is going on with these road projects. Stay with us.
When malaria shows up, it doesn't knock. It just takes over.
No. This fever is too much.
When malaria comes, respond with Mala2. Fight malaria with Mala2 tablets or syrup from Ernest Chemists. Test for malaria first before taking Mala2. If symptoms persist for more than 48 hours, see a doctor. This advert is FDA approved.
Big game today as Ghana faces England.
You forgot the eggs.
And the whole nation is ready. Shot on target. Oh, what a save! Benjamin Asari flying for Ghana.
Politics is always safe.
Every day, in the moments we love, we rely on clean and safe water that flows from Polytank.
Welcome. So Ghana has had a lot of rain in the past few months, and we know that, as we've said, both on radio and television, the rains are the ultimate quality check for everything, whether it's agriculture, whether it's our housing or drainage, but particularly also our roads. But this past few weeks have been particularly serious because of the nature of the rains and its effect on our roads. I'm going to start in the central region because there are two critical roads that have been affected by rain. So the Kasua to Accra road has a part which has a major bottleneck, made much worse by volumes of rain. It's the Atala Junction, the Kasua Malam road. They call it SCC Atala. Really troubling scenes we've seen with complaints for at least 3 weeks from road users about the effects of rains on the roads. Let's take this report from Akwesi Ado, our Central Regional Correspondent, before we speak to him.
The stretch has now become torturous and sometimes can even be perilous, especially during rains. Several owners have already lost their vehicles that were plunged into concrete drains by floodwaters. The heavy silting that makes sections, including the toll booth Osiadan and Block Factory Atala stretches, remain a problem that is yet to be dealt with, subjecting commuters to frustrating journeys.
Even from here to Malam, because the road is no good and you'll be in traffic for about 6 hours, it's not easy. I live in Kasua, and sometimes I have to wake up early in the morning like 3 o'clock before you can get to town early. Otherwise, you'll be in traffic for more than 3, 4, 5 hours.
But I don't know this road every day, heavy traffic here. I stay around this. I use this road every day. And every day, you'll be in the traffic for about 4 hours, 3 hours. What is this?
The long hours in traffic, apart from disrupting business operations, also have a heavy toll on the health of commuters, particularly those who have no option but to rely on sometimes rickety trotro vehicles.
But do my in fact now crowd ye macho. Can you intimate traso? Ye kutumi say send obehu porto. O sana ma kutumu no. China me na me desa. China me to me hu porto no ma doje.
Let's say there's an emergency and you have to rush somebody to a hospital, or you have to get yourself evacuated from this area as fast as you want it to be. The state of the road can't let you be fast as you want to be.
Managing traffic remains a daunting task for statutory officers.
My problem is you just allow me to pass here. It's just that simple as that. Okay. I knew the police officer, you are fighting with me. Why?
Okay. So why don't you climb this area?
The car cannot do it. The car, it can't go.
So you don't want to risk damaging your car?
I will damage the car.
I had say, what about Pia one side? Now you're messing, let's see the other side. No, what block here? What's the empire? Obi so Lord no or the before radio. And you during the video. Kind of money. Wait, say on to
3 hours from Kaswa to
Pambros. Hiya.
And 3 hours.
3 hours, Minduri.
The sharing of the opposite carriageway and the reliance on motorbikes also have their own safety concerns.
Now send there is only turning there and you cry. Unantiswa portals. Even your kadakra na ye bread, but we are still managing it.
Amidst this struggle, alternative routes such as the Professor J.E. Mills bypass, stretching from the Kaswa toll booth to Tuba Kokrobite, Aplaku Old Barrier, which could have best served commuters in distressing moments, have also significantly deteriorated.
This is a very busy road. As you see like this is a very, very busy road. Sometimes if you see heavy traffic on the Kaswa Tuba stretch, it is because this road is not functioning. And most drivers use it as an alternative, and they are not using it anymore. The traffic that we see on the Kaswa Tobu stretch is because of this road is not working.
Massa, none of them is good. Tuba Road is bad. Old Barrier is bad. No alternative to route A to anywhere. When I'm going to Cape Coast, Accra to Cape Coast, only one route, and the routes are bad as you can see my car. As bad as that.
It's very, very difficult to ride. You can't go this way, you can't go this way. And what this side is too even dangerous. You can't move, you can't do anything. And because of that, people are not even going to town again.
Another route, the Dam Road, constructed under the previous administration, has also become unreliable. The Wager Junction Oblogo Wager stretch has completely deteriorated. The situation has been compounded with piled up stilt that are yet to be collected.
Traffic no go slow acho hano and sa yard we mu no ankasa ye na enu sa yard we mu no ensuo yard mo maybe sa said e won penifo a ye jaman amom se omonhwe so oman we mu ana.
In 2015, President John Dramani Mahama made a visit to the Atala and Osiadan areas where he outlined measures to deal with the problem. The previous administration, led by Nana Akufo-Addo through a coastal development initiative, undertook a massive drainage project to aid free flow of the Kokojo River. However, the abandoning of drainage constructions in uphill Babadogo and Red Top communities have rendered that intervention completely meaningless. Local authorities are now left with no option but to conduct routine clearance of silt along the stretch after every downpour. Municipal Chief Executive for Gas South, Moses Kabukubi Wakanse, says a complete solution requires a central government intervention.
We are in talks with the highways, and we are also in talks with the hydro people to see how best we can work on this to bring a lasting solution to it.
The uproar among drivers and residents of this area is really huge, and they are calling on authorities to make repairing this road a priority. For the Channel 1 newsroom, I am Kwabena Bempong. Wager.
So that's Akwesiado reporting from Wager. So that's Central into Greater Accra region. That's Wager coming into Malam. I'm still in the Central region, and probably west is the Kasua Winneba construction. The major bottleneck that the rains have affected is at Gomoa Budumburam. Akwesiado again.
This is not the first time we are coming to you from the Kasua Winneba Highway, which is going under redevelopment. It's been several occasions since we've been here, but we're here today again because there hasn't been any much improvement. The situation keeps getting worse and subjecting commuters and commercial transport operators into extreme discomfort. And so we're here again to weigh the situation and find out what people actually make of what is happening on this stretch.
I'm being in this traffic about 4 to 5 hours now. Yesterday we spent almost 10 hours in this traffic, yes.
So the 4 to 5 hours, from which point to this point?
Just Kasua to Breku.
You are nowhere near Breku and you've already spent 4 hours.
4 hours already, yes. Burn fuel, be in the traffic, buy fuel that you want to work before you realize all your fuel gone. Just a short place, you can spend more than 2 hours over there.
Bro, the inconvenience on this road, in fact, is alarming. We know the road is under construction, but it's not improving. Something needs to be done. Seriously. Because we the commuters, in fact, we are suffering. You see the Budura itself. At times you get there and your back bumper will just rip off. Or maybe the front bumper will just rip off.
Hey, bruh. Wow, sha. We just say Yami Nambeka. Abenshon. Ye bre.
Na traffic na ya muti medium from Kasua to Winneba, how many hours?
Hours na oka. Unka days. Tranapa for something. Nami wo kwano so. After nami wo.
For commuters, it always remain a very harsh situation using the Kasua Winneba road due to its terrible nature.
Very, very terrible. We pray that the government will talk to the contractor to speed up his work, because a lot needs to be done on this road. Look at the traffic on the road. They should speed up their work and make sure that the road is smooth travel for all commuters.
Left and right side of me. Each and every day, traffic time if you have civilians for the police, you have done you are directing to now. A crime back almost 3 years. But I'm here one lady, but I'm coming here and I can't see to me come. And so almost 3 years more.
For months, this has been the situation here at Buduburam. Just as you can see, the road is very muddy, and then there are large manholes here filled with water. When it rains, the water level is always high. Vehicles get stuck in it, impeding smooth traffic flow. Apart from that, also, several vehicles also get damaged after passing through this particular section. There are also several instances where long vehicles loaded with goods have overturned at this particular point, causing danger to their drivers themselves as well as other road users.
I check 1 hour car became when my mom for cars as and a permanent cars almost 3 and then one panina Bakunsu a boy I want a diesel tank diesel in woman left and 50 the boy who must found now can in this road and car to foam and there be a side of foam. I know me loading. Why no man there poor Chinese for the watch maybe on my
who do down has overhead down has I forget. Kabia do ha kesi no mudu apeno madane. And I say about taxi be so has and your cry. Tia Paba and maybe been found my pie, panacho, and quay cry. Ufrika so high back camp here, which me divide 3 hours or time.
Camp, ever see Big Apple. They say, Hannah, problem no pa. I saw movie here, and I saw Mutake her. That's a quan of my beer, Obenya easy. She said, as soon as I trade a bit of performance is see, I know, Cassan. Problem no Fifia, maybe I'm losing a Cassas is see. He said, I had no problem no.
This is a typical spectacle here at Buduburam. Just as you can see, this vehicle just got stuck in this particular area. And you can see some amount of oil on the surface of the water. He just had the oil tank getting burst because of the heavy rock particles that are also in this water. Now the driver, his mate, and the passengers have been thrown into a dilemma because they do not know whether they should step out of the vehicle or they should remain in it. Despite sustained complaints from road users, the contractor has made no effort to improve on the condition of alternative roads.
Bakpasa da nyina fro bayi. Obewura mo crispo, awura mo tu wura mo bepie big apple. Masa anu kra nye. Wo so de car fa ba masa. O kwa we 3 for this. O ka na sinya be wojo.
The situation keeps worsening. The frustration and complaints also keep growing. However, there's not been any positive response from either the contractor or the Ministry of Roads and Highways. People who use this road are therefore appealing to government to intervene. For the Channel 1 newsroom, I am Kwabena Bempong, Central Region.
So that was Kwabena with the second report. So it looks like if you live in Kaswa, you have no rest. If you are coming to Accra, Weja, Malam, SCC, trouble. If you are going to Winneba, probably the same. Kwabena, thanks for joining us. You know, we've been talking to you for a bit on other programs. It looks like living in Kaswa is getting to be hell because we just showed 2 of your reports, one coming to Accra, one going to Winneba, and it looks like for both ways, the rains have made the roads very, very, very bad. What's going on?
Thank you very much, Bernard. It's really a very difficult situation for people who live in Kaswa and other different areas. Because just as you put it, if you're heading towards Accra, there is problem. And if you're heading towards Winneba, then people go through. And that one is the total wahala. It's really a struggle for people who use these stretches. And for regular users, it means that they are really going through a lot. It's not easy to get.
Since you started filing this report, has any work been done on the SCC Atala stretch? Because that's where those coming to Accra have been complaining about. Has anything been done there since you started?
So, yes, something has been done, but it couldn't solve within a quarter of the problem there. So what the assembly did is the usual collection of silt that gathers on the stretch anytime it rains, and also to be sealed to the drains, get the chambers of the drains also sealed to ensure that the water would move through them freely. But if they do it today, and I mean even if they do it now, and then it rains in the next hour, it means that all the job that they've done becomes cost 90. And apart from that, also, they tried filling some of the potholes with stones. They did. It rained the day after, and then it carried everything away, and we are back to normal. So it looks as if what is really needed to be done has not been done yet. And I'm thinking about putting in place or executing some robust engineering mechanism to ensure that the problem is solved. Other than that, the usual collection of silt and the silting of choked drains, remain zero efforts.
What about the Kaswa Winneba Road? I noticed that your report was from a place called Budumburam Big Apple. Is it just because of that stretch, that little portion, or is it just describe, is it a small problem or is it a much larger issue with the road?
It's a much larger issue because from Kaswa to Budumburam, at least I have identified about 3 routes that would serve as alternative for road users. But none of these alternative routes are in perfect condition. So commuters are left with no options but to be using that same stretch that is under construction. In fact, just about last week, we went to Cape Coast, and while returning, we had to use one of the alternative routes. And for the fact that we were driving the 4x4, would have gotten stuck over there. These are not potholes. You can even describe this as valleys, and you will not be wrong. So no driver would want to take that risk and then access some of these alternative routes. And the contracting instead of doing also to ensure that from the former refugees camp, that is Liberia camp, to this place called Big Apple, that is where they are constructing the underpass. So what the contractor needs to do is to ensure that at least that place is smooth to ensure easy access.
All right.
That when you drive from Katsina, your vehicle gets. If you are not lucky, you have to drive slowly, and sometimes the bigger trucks or long vehicles they keep overturning at that particular point. And I'm talking about those that are heavily loaded. We've had more than 20 vehicles overturning or falling on their side just between the Liberia camp and then the Big Apple stretch. The vehicles get damaged. The goods they are carrying also get damaged. I mean, plunging their owners into huge losses. The road users keep complaining, but nothing is being done. And you see, talking about the main comfort also, there are sections that have been tagged. The contractor decides as and when he is looking for the traffic public to access it. If the traffic public decides to use it by force, the contractor mounts barricades. Sometimes they place borders. Sometimes also they will drop it with their heavy equipment, so you have no access.
All right.
So it's always a scene of frustration for people who use that route.
All right, thank you. Let me take a quick comment from Engineer Bempong. Even though I know Engineer Kwabena Bempong, you are an engineer on a separate project. I think it would be useful for your comment briefly on the Kasua to Wager, the Atala SEC problem, which Akwesi has described, and also on this Budumburam project. So from your engineering perspective, is it just an act of God, the fact that it has rained and the silt, and therefore this is bound to happen? And also, what is the solution, particularly on the SEC one? Because we've been talking about it for about 3 weeks now. People are talking about desilting. Do you have to do the whole road again? Engineer Bempong, what do you have to say about these two bottlenecks?
Okay, well, thank you very much. I have not been there, but then at least I've been there in the past. And the situation as described and also on, as you have shown on your television, we have had some challenges like this before, but probably not to the scale that we are seeing the drivers go through, on this route. Engineering-wise, we all know that. Well, I don't know whether everybody knows, but it is common knowledge that water is an enemy of roads. And when I say water, one would say that there are three enemies, and the three are all water, water, water. So in constructing roads, one of the first things that we would want to do is to provide or attempt to provide adequate drainage. But then this drainage from day one may not be available. So you would find out that we'll be constructing especially cross culverts to ensure that the water from the sides of the road do not get onto the road. And that is when you have some of the challenges which you have shown. So by and large, this is something which happens on a lot of roads. But then the whole solution for me is all about planning, because we as engineers would want to plan to ensure that you do not even undertake construction or certain major construction works during the rainy season. Because during the rainy season is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult to, and then more especially on a live road, just as we know, both all the roads, leaving Accra, the Winneba Road, the Ofankol to Sawam Road, the motorway are all under construction. and it poses quite a lot of challenges for the motoring.
I'll come back to you. Let me make matters worse by going to the western region. Akwesi Ajay Enim has been focusing on some roads. But it's interesting because in the previous report, we saw a truck carrying Twyford ceramics or Twyford tiles. And in fact, Akwesi tells me that the road to that factory is almost impassable after the rain. Let's hear his report and then pick his comments.
A month after residents of Nyankrom demonstrated over the deplorable state of their road, some work has begun on the construction of drainage gutters along the stretch. However, residents say the condition of the road itself has worsened, particularly with the recent rains making daily commuting a major challenge.
So this is a typical situation here on the Nyankrom junction to Nyankrom town, a 2.5 kilometer road which has become so deplorable, largely caused by these heavy duty trucks that are actually hauling clay for the various clay manufacturing companies, including Twyford and Marco Polo, that are basically being accused of actually destroying the road. As we speak, the road has become so much muddy to the point that ordinary vehicles struggle to come, and residents over here are basically being made to force themselves taking motorbikes. And even with that, they tell me riding on these motorbikes have become so dangerous that sometimes they even find themselves falling off the motorbikes. And this is an example of the means of commuting on this very short distance road because of the distraction caused by these heavy duty trucks.
Yeah, because
construction of the gutters, this road, at least something could be done about it. You could see people walking through this muddy areas and those things. Honestly, the whole thing is there's no even a footpath for the residents even to walk through. That's about than to walk through the muddy area.
If you are in a taxi and you are wearing a white shirt, by the time you reach Nyankrom, it will become dirty. You have to go and change for another dress before you go to wherever you are going. So this road is very difficult. Sometimes I feel it bad to come to church in the evening.
Edin kakra sensuo to a ekwan no so enye atache na ewom no enye unye bebi mpu na wetia na wetimi akọ nti eba nsa na ema woche ina se moto no so a wode kọ no se nipa no nyi experience ya obetimi ahwe ase.
While residents welcome the ongoing drainage works, they are calling on the Shama District Assembly to ensure that the contractor accelerates work on the project. They also want immediate attention given to the west sections of the road.
You want to start to be better. What's starting in there? We're doing more work. So there be a man work into my man. And I'm telling you, you're sorry, Kotwaba. And be being here. Because I buy a baby aboko. And yes, system there. And as a seminar, if you put it in here, and never be west to cry. And I tell you, I had you. Yes, someone.
So we're thinking at least some level of first-hand job could be done to at least help people go out and come in easily. But again, we don't know what's happening.
They have given the road to contractor. The contractor should come and at least level it for us.
For now, residents are basically banging their hopes on early completion of the construction that is currently going on. But they tell the pace at which the construction is going doesn't look that promising. Hence, some pressure must be put on the contractor to execute the project within the scheduled time. For Channel 1 TV News, I'm Akwesi Ajay Nyankrom.
So that was Akwesi Ajay report. And Akwesi has been filing a lot of reports on this. I'm going on our Facebook page and I've seen about 3 separate reports he's done. Akwesi, thanks for joining us. I know you've covered the demonstration on this road. There's another, you did a story about trucks stuck on the road in addition to this report. How long has this road been like this and how bad is the situation, Akwesi?
Bernard, I would say it's been like that for the past close to 3 years.
It hasn't been a good road for close to a decade, but I must say it's gotten this worse in the last 3 years with the coming in of Twyford operations and the expansion by these two companies, as Twyford and Marco Polo. Twyford manufactures towels, and Marco Polo also manufactures toilets, water closets. But as we speak, Marco Polo is expanding to also manufacture towels, and then Twyford is expanding to also manufacture toilet seats, in addition to the recently commissioned or recently sought cutting performed by the president to expand Twyford's operation to include the manufacturing of glass. And so they are all expanding, and with their expansion processes, more trucks are coming in with construction materials in addition to their core haulage of clay for their core business. And so the traffic on that very short stretch has so much intensified. Every minute you are counting a truck passing by, and that tells you how the road is being overused.
And the area is a clay area because of the materials they use. So therefore, when it rains, there it's almost impossible, right?
Yeah, I would say the area is not necessarily. They actually fill the place with laterite soil or so, but the clay is being hauled from Nzima, the Ahanta, the Nzima East, and then the Elemble areas, all coming to the area. But I think it's the filling that has actually gotten the place so worse. And these heavy-duty trucks, when they move, they also create potholes, and then when it rains, it collects water, and as the cars go over it, the hose deepens, and it becomes a problem. In fact, life over there has really become a difficulty for residents within the area.
Talk to me about the Elubo and Chi Road, and also the Shama and Awing and Chi roads, and maybe Bogoso as well. What's the state of those roads?
Well, Bernard, I must say, with the rains coming in, most of the untarred roads have actually been exposed in terms of how bad they are. Before I even go to Enchi or the Bogoso Pristia Road, let me just touch on a few roads also within the catchment of this Nyan Krom stretch, which is within the Shama district. Within the Shama district, you have a difficult stretch also from Yabil. I mean, the main Cape Coast Road bypass to Yabil is also very bad. And another one is a road going to a community called Angonaga, Anlo Beach. It's a community with settlers from the Volta region. They also have a hectic time since the rains started. When it comes to Ahanta West municipality, we know the popular Cape Tree Point. The road from Sanko, and a 24-kilometer road from Sanko in the Ahanta West to the popular Cape Tree Point community is also horrible since the rains started coming in. Now, if you go to the Pristia Huni Valley municipality, the popular Pristia to Bogosu Road is also having its own share of, deplorable challenges because of the rains coming. It's just a little over 18 kilometers road, and severally successive governments have given it to contracts, and nothing has actually been done. Recently, I think within last June, we had a minister going there to look at the road, and not much was actually being done on the road. I'm told just last week a new contractor has actually come on the road, but the pace with the construction isn't something that is encouraging. And with the rains coming in, it's really a challenge for them. If you go to Amenfi West and Amenfi Central, those districts don't really have any serious, they don't have tarred roads, frankly. If you take Amenfi West, for instance, from Wase Krupong all the way to Samra, which recently had a serious, or should I say devastating flood, it is horrible. I mean, riding on that road from Asankregwa to Samra Boy is so challenging. So most of these roads within the region are having a lot of tough time because of the rains coming in.
Akwesi, thank you. We're still talking the rains and our roads. We'll take a short break. We will come back and do a few more routes because there's the Adenta Dodowa Fienya Road. The Minister of Roads was on the Eastern Corridor a couple of days ago, and the almighty Accra-Tema Motorway. We would even spend some time on the Western Corridor as well. All these and more when we come back. Stay with us.
Imagine a life where every moment flows effortlessly, where every choice brings you closer to the life you've always wanted. Give yourself more ways to receive joy. Have more time to party. With G Money, every moment flows seamlessly. Just pay and keep the good vibes going. Instantly top up airtime or data so you never miss life's special moments, because your memories together should matter more. Give yourself more freedom to celebrate. Pay bills quickly and seamlessly so nothing disrupts your moments. Have more financial control. With G Money, you can effortlessly manage bulk payments and keep your business running smoothly. Dial *488# or download the app and explore the new G Money today. G Money. Give yourself more.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini ehube hia semecha sapapadia to ama me manfo Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients eno ene bom se ho ban e mane sren ne sanso mama hotoso e wo bedwam.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
So welcome back. The point of view tonight is focused on the roads and the effect of the recent rains on them. The roads have not been that good and the rains have worsened the issue. So far we've spoken to you about the Kasua to Winneba Road, Kasua to Weja, and we've also dealt with some roads in the western region. Let's talk about the Accra-Tema Motorway. It's a mighty project, over 17 kilometers. Engineer Bempong is the resident engineer on that project. And we've been speaking to him regularly. I think the last time we spoke was May 20th, after some initial rains. I use the motorway regularly, and I can say that whilst the road seems to be progressing, the rains seems to be having an effect. So let's find out from him what his assessment of the project is and what percentage you've done. Engineer, so thanks for staying with us. The rains of June 29 were very serious. The last time we spoke about the Accra-Tema Motorway was in May. How badly have the rains affected that project, and what percentage would you say we are on with completion of Accra-Tema Motorway?
Well, thank you very much, Bernard. With regards to the Accra-Tema Motorway, the challenges that we've had has to do mainly with the various diversions that we have around the interchanges. You know, we have, and the drainage structures. You remember I mentioned that when you're undertaking road construction, one of the major things that we have to do in the early part of the project is drainage, because if you are unable to get your drains right and working, then you have a lot of challenges. So for us, we have about 20 culverts and about 3 interchanges. We've managed to construct a lot of them, so the majority of them are almost done, and that has reduced the impact on the main road itself, maybe overtopping or having a lot of water or flooding. We didn't experience that. But then with the bypasses, And that was a comment I was going to make, so far as the earlier, clips that you showed. You see, where you have water in connection with gravel, combined with heavy axle loads, plus traffic volume, and here I'm talking about the number of trips like we saw in that one, then it's not going to stand. That is why when you have these elements, as I mentioned, then you have to upgrade into a surface dredged or a bituminous or a rigid pavement. But then in our case, because it is just temporary, we have tried many things. For instance, we use cement stabilized crushed rock to ensure that the surfaces are okay. Now, with regards to the main road, that is the existing concrete road, for a very long time, and of course that is what led to the formulation of this project. For a long time, we've had potholes and all that. You will notice that every quarter we come in and fill them with asphalt. Of course, with the rains, some of them come off, but then we continue to ensure that the road is passable, throughout, the period of construction. Now, you asked the question about the percentage. I know when these percentages are thrown about, it's difficult for some to be able to grasp it because we do not have a contiguous section of the road completed. But then for those who are not aware, we are currently working on the urban highway, which is more like a service road on either side of the existing motorway. It has 3 lanes in each direction. And the plan is that we are going to work that all the way to asphalt, and then we can move traffic onto it before working on the concrete. So by way of percentage, we are currently around 48%. We have not yet gone halfway through. So that is probably
okay.
An answer.
So usually the Tema to Accra side, when you are coming towards Boteman Junction, there's a lot of traffic in the evenings. Indeed, for those who live in Tema or who live in Accra and work in Tema, on their way back, there seems to be a lot of traffic from the Ashaiman overpass all through to Boteman. Why? Is it that the Boteman interchange part is difficult? And I also see a lot of water sort of on the bypass. What is it, the nature of the place? Why is that place so difficult?
Okay, so the first thing is that you realize that we have been able to work on the other interchanges, but then this particular one we haven't been able to work on. And the reason is very simple. There are some utility lines there. You can see there's on the right hand side when you are going towards Tema, we have these pylons and we are working to remove them. Until recently, we had also water lines, all over. So that is what has reduced, or caused the challenge. And for the bypass, we do not have any adequate drainage system. In the past, we were having, during the dry seasons, our challenge was with dust. So we've tried as much as possible to ensure that the road is passable. And if you notice, now we are working in the night. What I've instructed the contractors to do is that don't work during the day or in the morning as they were doing, and that causes traffic. So for the past 2 or so weeks, they now work in the night to come back, grade the road. Because like I mentioned, once you have such high traffic volumes, on the Accra Tamamoto way, we are talking about in excess of 50,000 vehicles a day. And when you have that, there is no way a gravel road will survive. It will not survive. So you need regular maintenance, and that is what we've been trying to do over the period.
Okay. Let me do the Eastern Corridor and come back to you. So please stay with us because I need you for the rest of the show. But let me do a quick overview of the Eastern Corridor Road. The Minister for Roads led a team of journalists and his officials to inspect the road. And I think Kwabena Bempong was even on that trip as well. Chris Asima was there for us. So let's take a quick overview of that road. So basically you're talking Asikuma to Ho Road. I think Atimpoku to Asikuma as well. And there's also the Asikuma to Have to Hohwe Road. What is the nature of the project there, and is it a rain-affected road? Indeed, the Minister of Roads was unhappy with one particular contractor and he warned that he would cancel the contract. Let's just get an overview of that road.
The Roads and Highways Minister has begun another phase of his nationwide inspection of major road projects, this time touring key infrastructure works in the Eastern, Volta, and Oti regions. The exercise is intended to assess progress, engage contractors on delivery timelines, and identify challenges affecting the completion of strategic road projects. The projects under inspection include the rehabilitation of the Atimpoku-Esikuma Junction corridor, repairs on the Asikuma Junction-Have Road, the reconstruction of the Have-Hohoi Road, and rehabilitation works along the Hohoi-Jasikan-Nkwanta-Dambai corridor. During a visit to the Have-Hohoi project, the minister expressed disappointment over the pace of work, warning of possible termination of the contract if the new targets are not met.
You are the worst performing contractor on the Eastern Corridor currently, and that must not be accepted. And sometimes the public doesn't know that before we speak to contractors publicly like this, we would have spoken to them 5-6 times indoors. Yeah. We would have invited them and spoken to them and encouraged them at least 3-4 times indoors when nobody is there. It is when we are fed up with the indoor advice that we bring the issues up out here. So we don't even just go out and chastise contractors for nothing. When they work, we encourage them. This is a very strategic town in Volta region and on the Eastern Corridor. We cannot leave this town perpetually in this condition. So please, 2 months, your boss, the person who gave you the job directly is Highways. They are the ones looking after you. They are saying they are giving you 1 month. I will not even argue with him. If after 1 month he advises me that you cannot do the work, we will take you off and give it to somebody else.
The Director of Commercial Department of Greenhouse International Development Limited, Olivia Gio, assured government that the company would accelerate work to meet the revised target.
Honorable, we are sorry about the situation, and also we will improve the situation at the site. Like you said, we will employ more people, more team at the site, and also we will increase more equipment to faster the speed of the work.
The minister also served notice that contractors who fail to submit detailed technical work programs or demonstrate measurable progress risk financial penalties.
One thing we've been asking contractors to provide, which the previous contractor didn't provide, is the work schedule. So you can tell today they are supposed to be doing earthworks or they are supposed to be doing concrete work. Others have forgotten to do that. But it is very critical. In fact, we pay you to do that. It's part of the money we pay you to do that. So if we keep coming to your site and you are lacking in terms of presentation, we can actually deduct some money from you because it means that we're giving you money to do something and you didn't do it. And there's no reason. The contract price is not an automatic money to be given to you. You will only draw down that money when you work for it and we can certify that project. So those whose presentation have been a bit less than expected, you know that we paid you for it. And if after some time you can't show that you are doing the presentation well, we'll deduct it from your money.
The inspection team later visited the site of the Dambai Bridge project being executed by Maripoma Enterprise Limited.
Reporting from the Oti region, I am Christopher Kevin Asima for Channel 1 News.
So this is still the point of view. Tonight we're talking about the rains on your roads. This Eastern Corridor stretch didn't seem to have much of a rain challenge. Chris Asima was on the trip. Chris joins us. Chris, so the minister wasn't happy with one particular contractor. Which particular stretch of the Eastern Corridor is this? And what was the contractor's crime for which the minister was so angry?
Well, Bernard, that was the road from Have to Hohoi, which when he got there, he gave the contractor 2 months to reach 20%. And Bernard, this is a particular contract that has been on for close to 14 years. So the minister wasn't happy that after 14 years, the contractor will still be at only 13% of the work. And the road is 53.35 kilometer reconstruction, and it's from Have to Hohoi. And this road has been on for 14 years. That means it has had the NDC government and the NPP government.
Wow.
When the minister got there, they were trying to explain to the minister the work they've been doing so far. But the minister said it's taking so long, and he doesn't even understand why the contractor is happy on site, because you can't be at a particular stretch for close to 14 years. He explained that when the NDC government took office, the contractor was owed some money, but the ministry had to put that particular contract on the Cocoa Road so that they could quickly find money and pay the contractor. But after doing all that, the contractor seems to be lacking behind. and he wasn't happy that the road had just gotten only 13% of work done.
There was complaint that there's a lot of dust. I think there was a portion of the video you didn't play where the minister said they had only one watering truck. It seems as if there's a lot of dust as well, and the company said they would do more watering. I mean, how can you describe what you saw? Because in the report you showed us more what the minister said. We would have loved to see, is the road that bad? And how does 14 years not get you 20%? That's shocking, right?
Well, actually, before we got to the site, the minister had stopped and made sure that he knew the beginning of the lot to the end of the lot. And on the whole stretch, we have just seen one truck when we were coming watering. And the minister was asking whether they were watering because he was coming, because he had received complaints, one from the Volta regional minister, that they do not water that stretch. Several complaints had come from the minister to the sector minister, and also the MP for Hohoe had reported severally in parliament and to the minister that the contractor does not water the stretch. So the minister was surprised to see them watering, but in that whole stretch, there was just one water tanker that was watering, and the minister was surprised because it was a very long stretch, 53.35 kilometers, and if he had 2, 3, they could have been doing the watering, but it was just one.
What about the Asekuma to Ho Road and other roads? Because he did 2 days, right? Beyond the Haven Hohoe, were there any other roads that required your comment in terms of what you saw in the eastern region, in the Volta region?
Yes, so we first started with the Atimpoku to Asekuma Road, which was lot 2 on the Eastern Corridor stretch. Now, interestingly, Dawil Limited is the contractor undertaking the rehabilitation of the Atimpoku to Asekuma Junction Road. That is lot 2. And Bernard, this is a contractor that in the first inspection phase of the ministry, he was one of the people the minister had condemned and threatened to terminate their project if they do not meet their timelines. This is something that actually got social media attention. That was the beginning of the minister's talk. Now, according to the minister, when we were on site this time around, the minister who earlier on gave the threat that if they do not meet 20%, they will have their contracts terminated. When we got there, the contractor had completed 40%. Initially, he was given timelines to meet 20%. His expected project target was supposed to be 30% as at the time we visited the second time. And he had exceeded the minister's projected 20% and his own expected 30% and was at 40%. So the minister indicated that was the example he was trying to show, that the ministry had come on board to make sure that they wake up contractors to do the right thing, and that when they go around and then they commend contractors who are doing well and condemn others who are not doing well, the public should understand them because they know where the contractor is expected to be at a particular time. Now, this is a contractor that initially was not on site and was snowing behind after the minister had threatened to terminate their contract if they don't meet 20% in 2 months. In 2 months, when we got there, the contractor had reached 40%, when he was even expected to at least reach 30%.
Chris, I want to talk about the Western Corridor because I know you were there 3 weeks ago from Wenchi to Wa. What can you say about that stretch briefly? I don't have time to play the full video, but I'll probably show some highlights of the road as you talk. Wenchi to Wa, what did you see on that? Because this is the opposite side, right? The Western Corridor road. What did you see?
Well, Bernard, on the Western Corridor Road, as we have begun work on it, Channel 1 TV project, we access the whole stretch, and that is over 100 kilometers. Wenchi to Wa, you would see more of some contractors on site, others not on site. And earlier on, the minister had visited that stretch. He had warned some contractors to meet certain timelines. Now, from Wenchi all the way to Bamboy, you won't see much work done because most of the contractors are still now gathering resources. Others are working on their culverts to go to site. From Bamboy onwards, you would see a lot of culverts being done heading towards Swola. But within Swola and from Swola to Tuna, you would see that a lot is not being done. Now, Swola is supposed to be dualized, but nothing is being done within Swola Township. Now, why it's also supposed to be dualized and nothing is being done. What we are told by the contractors and the highways officials is that they are currently spending time to take the sideway trees and then other economic trees that are on the stretch, but not much work is done all the way from Wa heading back to Tuna and then in Suala Township. When you get to a place like Bandang Kwanta, residents there are not happy because they thought that with this big push passing through that stretch, the road will be dualized. But certainly they are told that they were asked to move. They have moved. They have left the space for the contractor. The highways is saying that they don't need to demolish the structures anymore because their road will be narrow again. It will not be dualized. And they are not happy because for them, they feel like they are giving government the request government wanted. They moved from site. Demolition had to begin, and now their road has to be left in a narrow shape. But certainly, if you look at in general from the whole stretch from Wenchi to Wa, as expected, government is not seeing the impact as we wanted because we have a target, which is 2 years for the big push project on that stretch, but most contractors are still behind. Others have blamed it on the weather. And the minister, as he said recently, the weather shouldn't be an excuse. If most contractors had been to site the very beginning when the contract was awarded, by now they should have gone far.
Chris, thank you. This is still the point of view. We are doing the roads and the rains. Engineer Bempong, thanks for staying with us. When we come back, I will do Adenta Dodowa to Afienya, and then I'll wrap things up with Engineer on the way forward. I know a lot of you are asking, where are my roads? What about my roads? This is just a part one. I'm sure we'll do a part two in due course. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you want a healthy smile?
Good morning, Raquel. Fresh brewed coffee for you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Maya.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Coffee, tea, red wine, those things cause so much stain on our teeth. But I like to tell my patients that cosmetic whitening is a great, safe, effective way to brighten your teeth, like 4 to 6 shades lighter. So it's important to come in to get an assessment on your teeth to make sure you're a good candidate for whitening, because we want to make sure you have a good foundation.
Yes, I definitely agree. Like you said, and it could be done right here at Bethel Dental.
I also like to make sure patients realize you need to get your whitening done by a licensed dentist or a dental hygienist. So that way you can make sure you're getting the correct product, it's safe, you don't get any burning on your gums, you don't get any sensitivity with your teeth. So those things are super important when you're looking for a place to whiten.
Yes, so why wait? Schedule your appointment today.
Healthy smile.
I was this close to moving everything to the account number they gave me.
I almost didn't notice. I was just about to enter my PIN.
I clicked the link, entered my account number, entered my password. They said my account was under attack, that I needed to act fast.
I checked again.
Before I could think, they sent me an OTP. But I paused. I double checked.
Fraudsters rely on fear, on speed, on pressure. Shine your eye. Stay alert before you act. Stop the fraud. Stop the fraud. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
If you stop the fraud, you go fit to stop.
The point of view tonight is looking at the rains and our roads. We've dealt with Central Region, the Western Region, the Volta Region, and we've done BA all through to Upper West. Let's take you back to the Greater Accra Region now for the Adenta Dodowa Afienya stretch. So our Isaac Ofe Ano has been looking at that stretch, and this report is read by Samuel Akom.
For many commuters using the Adenta Dodowa Road, the ongoing construction continues to bring daily challenges, including heavy traffic congestion, dust, and long travel delays. While they acknowledge the progress made so far, they are appealing to the contractor to speed up work where possible to reduce the inconvenience and improve traffic flow.
We are happy that they are working on the road, but we just pray that and hope and appeal to them that they speed the rate of work so that we can enjoy it, because currently we have challenges.
Are you happy with them?
That's the yes and no. we will reach that. It's moves faster than it is now.
He should do one side when he finishes with the asphalt, and then he concentrates on the other side. When it rains, you cannot use the road. Very muddy. When it shines, very dusty. We beg the contractor, he should speed up things, finish one side for us so that we can use the road.
It's a contractor, no? They be ultimate me one side. No be August near me after because it's your at the check. A yaba in foot.
Meanwhile, contractors say work on the project is progressing steadily despite a few setbacks. Project manager of Oswald Investment Limited, Gabriel Foley, says heavy rainfall, property acquisition, compensation to affected property owners, and a relocation of utility infrastructure have affected the pace of work at certain stages.
How do you get those properties out of the space that you require? So what the public don't know is that unlike a normal carriageway, which you need a maximum of 30 meters, this one you need a minimum of 50 meters to be able to construct the new design. Therefore, the impact of the new design on properties has been very tremendous, and it has taken us over 27 months to engage property owners, to even agree, to even take what government is offering, to resettle, to make way for the reconstruction. As I'm still talking to you now, we are still contending with people who are not willing, because like I said in my previous interviews with the sister station, see, there are people that by virtue of the fact that you offer them X amount as the value of their property, does not simply mean that they are going to agree on that X amount. Depending upon the person's exposure, they will contest it. So sometimes even the negotiation process to even get people to even agree to move back to accommodate the new design, which is a 2x4 dual carriageway with service road attached, even that process alone is challenging.
Mr. Foley says the project has reached 63% completion and remains on course for substantial completion by March 2027.
We are at 63 now. Now, our target, we have about 47, we have about 37 more left to finish the project. And I can assure you that by next year, March, we'll do everything possible to finish this project within schedule.
Also, commuters using the Ododoa-Afinya-Dowenya Road are calling on contractors to speed up construction to reduce the dust, muddy conditions. They say the ongoing works have made traveling difficult, especially during the rainy season, and are appealing to the contractor to complete at least one lane to ease movement while construction continues.
Because they are delaying. The delay is becoming too much.
The delay is becoming too much. So don't you think maybe the rainy season is also affecting them?
No, it's affecting them, but still they have to do something to learn those. The rain is also delaying.
Yeah, the contractor is trying, but it's just that a little watering of the road dust is lacking, and also some of the diverted courses. Sometimes we find it difficult to, but now I think is on progress.
Contractors say work on the project is progressing steadily and remains on track for substantial completion by November 2027. Although heavy rainfall, land acquisition and the demolition of some structures have slowed progress at certain stages, work has continued.
There's some structures within our right-of-way which had to be demolished. Some aspects have been tackled. Other challenges we faced was the outfalls for our culverts. The culverts are drainage structures that take water from one end of the road to the other end. We realized that most of the culverts didn't have a proper outfall. There were structures within the pathway of the water course. So meaning when the water from the other side enters to the culvert, it didn't have a thorough course to channel it into another bigger water body. Those are our major challenges. Then with this bridge site, one major setback was with the rainfall. This time around, the rains have been quite heavy. And then in June, we experienced 2 major downpours that led to the flooding of the entire bridge site over here.
She says the project has now reached 30% completion and is on course to meet the targeted completion date.
For the entire road construction, it's 24 months. But for the bridge alone, it's 12 months. The bridge alone, right from the decommission, when the old bridge was brought down, to when we put the new bridge, the concrete bridge, we put it in place and open it to traffic, it's supposed to take 12 months.
So that report was filed by our Isaac Ofeano, read by Samuel Akom. We still have Kwabena Bempong. This work is not easy. Every road has something. If the weather is dry, people say it's dust. If it's raining, people say the road is too muddy. Is there an ideal time for some types of roads to be done? I think that's the question. What's the best period for road construction, looking at what we've seen so far?
Well, thank you very much. I just want to reiterate again that water. So if you can, as much as possible, you have to plan such that certain activities do not take place during the wet season. Because look, if you have water even during the rainy season, just light showers, what is going to happen is that it's going to saturate your material. And when your materials are saturated, you cannot compact them. And then it becomes muddy and you lose money. And that is what is going to lead to time and cost on the project, in terms of the fact that there will be work stoppages, material damage, project delays, increased costs, and all of that, soil erosion, flooding, just mention them. So ideally, you have to try and as much as possible to do very limited works during the rainy season. For instance, earthworks. When you say earthworks, in like cutting, filling, and that kind of work, ideally should not be done during the wet season. Some level of concrete works can be done, and that one you have to be very innovative in terms of the choices of your material. Because with concrete, it will come in a formwork, and therefore it can be protected from the inclement weather. And then and some other works like crash rock, and yes, those are the things that you can do during. But even then, you always have to ensure that you do not have the rains meeting your construction activity. Otherwise, your material will be compromised, and when your material is compromised, that will obviously lead to future failure. I just want to make a comment, and this is something that we have always said. Listening to the gentlemen, the resident engineers on the various projects, you would realize that the challenges that we have on our road projects are similar. They are almost, I don't want to say the same. They are similar across board. Somebody says that why don't you construct one lane and then put all the traffic there before you come and construct the others? He explained to you, and I have seen that on many of our roads. You are widening the roads, and where you are widening to, there are electricity lines, there are water lines, telecommunication lines. People have encroached on the roads, and these are what we call the PAPs, or the persons who are affected by the project. You give them compensation. It takes forever to get the compensation payment made. And when the compensation money is ready, they reject it. Yes, recently on the Ofankor Road, when we knew that we had pushed and the government had come in, made payments, people said, we are no more interested. We will not, accept the amount that has been offered to us. I don't know whether I'm still on.
No, you are on. This is very true. So it's interesting that in Sawami Ofankor Road and the issue of right of way and compensation, we've seen the same with Dodowa Adenta, and I think the engineers said the same thing. So these matters cut across. But I wanted to show you something. So the Apenkwa into
they cut across and
yes, they cut across. I was going to show you the Apenkwa into Achimota Road for the past month has been very, very soggy.
Yeah.
Apparently because of some underground problem.
Yeah.
I want to show you a quick report and we'll talk about that. I think it's been fixed, but I just wanted to show viewers what we've been talking about, because that has been a major issue in the heart of the city for almost a month. Let's watch it.
The Achimota-Tesano Highway had become a nightmare for motorists and commuters, with deep potholes slowing traffic, damaging vehicles and increasing the risk of accidents. The deteriorated stretch drew widespread concern, prompting calls for urgent intervention. Today, some remedial works have been carried out, with the potholes patched using chippings to improve the conditions of the road and ease movement. While welcoming the intervention, motorists say the repairs have brought some relief and made the stretch more motorable.
In fact, the initial stage was very serious, and it was causing a lot of traffic and delay. But now I think it's better, but it can be better than this. Yeah, though it doesn't really slow us. It gives us the opportunity to go a little bit faster.
To see an first in this, is because first in a Portos no nodding. But I see the grabus and begum dear, ama bibia a coffin. But yes, any a penno. As a mobile educotal beguso to send a net here cannon a quano, and only a share. Since you know a grabus no gumo, but still a quane and ye send ye a quine and ye pet to say, Yaye cotal a gusunti. You see, the Hian say. Omumbe levels no mumpa hotel musumai they no na na extra banse o meye mai
sa problem na wa ha no easy say go be go tana e wo no the start here traffic ne e do na pa nya sam kotoa e blewa pa na po ani mlu adam pa bo so traffic ni kwa no wo bana traffic ta no to mo fere ya de aboda ba for no pa ka ba this time ya e fina ko botan ka traffic ta Achimota follows wo mo na to ha mo no easy you know. I want to say cars in a because first now to know I won't say I can go slow no but I won't say can move fine. They are anytime they come to me and say my and cannot boy pa I'm any day be fan because nyanya kura but it's one way say there we can say but I'm no completely my preko.
But they maintain that the current works are only a temporary fix and are urging the authorities to undertake a comprehensive rehabilitation of the highway to provide a lasting solution and prevent the road from deteriorating. The Achimota-Tesano Highway had become a nightmare for motorists and commuters, with deep potholes slowing traffic, damaging vehicles and increasing the risk of accidents. The deteriorated stretch drew widespread concern, prompting calls for urgent intervention.
So yeah, that's a temporary relief. The clip we showed, it didn't include the water because it's dry, but trust me, when it started raining, it was as if there was some broken underground tunnel. Engineer Bipo, I don't know whether that road is under your jurisdiction, but for a long time, they would put gravel on the road and the next day, the water would clear it. What's your understanding of that problem in that Apenkwa corner?
Okay, well, thank you very much. You know, I have been connected to the Saram Road since 2003.
Wow.
I happen to be the highway engineer on that project from Circle to Achimota and the Achimota School Road. So I know very well what you are talking about. I have already spoken to the Department of Urban Roads, and I know the problem. Okay, and I've already mentioned it to you. Drainage. The drains there are blocked. Okay, and therefore the water tends to flow on the road. And I don't know how many times I can say it, but drainage or water is an enemy of roads. Second thing has to do with the turning movement. You know, when vehicles are turning, and especially on asphaltic surface roads, you have the churning of the surface by the tires. And when the surfaces are churned, especially for an old asphalt like this asphalt has actually done very well. Usually asphalt should be around 15 years. And this road, as I mentioned to you, has been around for more than 20 years. That churning leads to the deterioration of the pavement. So on one project, what I did was that we used pavers, that is paving blocks, very high grade paving blocks, running of vehicular tires. And then the other option would have been concrete pavement, which we call the rigid pavement. I did, two in Pokwase, and those who know, one of the two of the local roads, it's working very well. So for me, these are the solutions. First, let us deal with the drainage. Secondly, let us deal with the paving. Now, we cannot go and do a concrete pavement because concrete will require time to set and dry, and we don't have the time to do that. But then if we want to use paving blocks will do very well. Yes, it is good that we have this material there as a stopgap measure, but then ultimately we need to fix the pavement. But let me also add quickly that the construction of this road, that is from Tesano to Neoplan, that is a 2.5 kilometer section, is a third section of the overall what's the name? Temamoto Way project. Okay. Now, the Temamoto Way project has three sections. There's a 19.5 section which we are currently working on. Then there is the 5.7 kilometer section from Tetekwashi all the way to Apenkwa, and then we have the 2.5 kilometer section. So when these projects come on board, it is possible that some of these issues will be looked at. The Apenkwa interchange will be remodeled. We'll have another interchange at Neoplan. There will be an interchange at Fiesta Royale and some other places.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Engineer Bempong. It's been very comprehensive. I really thank you for your time and your insights. I'd like to end on a note of hope because the 6-lane Accra Kumasi Expressway project seems to have started with the military clearing over 51 kilometers of the route. The Ghana Armed Forces have been working on this project. Now, traditionally, driving from Accra to Kumasi is around 230, 235 kilometers. The expressway is 175 kilometers, and it reduces the road by close to 50 kilometers in terms of the distance. So the Armed Forces media team put out a video a week and a half ago and want to show you that to end. So whilst we're talking about the rains and the effects on our roads, and I know your road is there for us to talk about next time, let's show you what the Armed Forces have done in the video they themselves released on the Accra Kumasi Expressway project.
We are presently located here at Esubua, a distance of 68 kilometers away from Accra, and our objective is the clearing of the proposed Accra Kumasi Expressway. The color codes and symbols are conventional. So the major towns along which this road passes or falls are Ablekuma. We have Adeso, we have Esamankese, Esubua, Akimoda, Ofuase, Jedemua, and Sewua, which is in Kumasi. Presently, I would say that we are 5 weeks into the clearing operation. 2 teams have currently been formed, as I mentioned, with Team A heading towards Accra and Team Bravo towards Jedemwa. And so far, the team have cleared a total of 17.75 kilometers, which is about 10% of the total works that we are supposed to execute. There's a swamp just at the point where the road is.
Somewhere there.
Yes, we were somewhere there.
Okay.
And then we have come all the way to this. So this is the farthest point we have come, heading towards Kumasi. So we are now at kilometer 74, and then Kumasi is at 175. So we are about 100 kilometers away from Kumasi. Yes, sir.
So we have come all the way from Accra to come and commend you for being in the field all this while, waiting for the right equipment for us to commence this particular project. Now that we have everything, all is set for us to push ahead, make sure we meet our targeted KPIs, and then do a good job so that we can be able to clear the right of way for the Accra-Kumasi Expressway project itself to take off. But with what I've seen so far, I want to commend you for your yeoman's job. We know it's been difficult, you have left your families, but you are the guys who are now lifting up the flag of the Ghana Armed Forces once again. This is our contribution to the development of the country, and let's do it to the best of our ability. Our engineers have been top-notch all these years, but now that we are being given the opportunity to show what we are made up of, let's do it and do it well. So from Accra, from the service chiefs and all your colleagues, we are happy with what you are doing, and we have come to commend you and to encourage you. So keep it up, okay? So make sure that in your dealings, especially when we come across some farms and properties, let's be sure that they have been assessed by the valuers already, and we've been given the go-ahead before we go ahead to destroy them. But once again, thank you for your hard work, and let's see how we push this through. We have given ourselves 20 weeks within which to finish this particular exercise. So give it all your best. When there are issues, within the shortest possible time, let us know, and be rest assured that everything that you require for you to get this job done will make it available for you.
Oh, I so. Na any adjective because I prefer to say no. And you baby na be hubi. Though be me o said but I wish him o say o me nya compensation no. By kwan yo me be boy acheman se be boy kese pa. Nka cha ban say ye bona baso. Yankopon hira no. Le mo ye didie ni say obaye nso awie. Ye nyina ta na chi ye sunsu mu oni kan nyina ta say wonye wie. Na dwuma de ni na nka so.
So that was the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapong, commending his team. Very interesting. They have cleared almost half of the project right of way. I don't know if engineer you are still there. Some people were saying that if we hadn't used the armed forces, we wouldn't have gotten where we had gotten to, because I think as of the time they did this, they said they had cleared about 51 kilometers of the right of way, and that the expressway is the shortest distance between Accra and Kumasi. I mean, from an engineering perspective, how feasible is this project?
Well, I know we've said one or two things in the past, okay, that it is ambitious, but not that it is not possible. Maybe the methodology that is being employed or deployed may cause it to be done as quickly as they can. But 2 years, I think that it is a bit, well, from our side, it looks, 170. But then everything is possible. And let me just commend the CDS and their team, of engineers. Engineers, it doesn't matter the color, It doesn't matter the uniform, whether you are a civilian or you are an engineer, and I'm proud of them for doing a human's work. And let me just digress a little bit. You see, on the Ashaman to Akosombo Road, you know, we've also been there for a very long time. And there are properties that are within the right of way that have to be removed. And these people, even though we have tried to have that human face, trying to assess their properties so that we can clear them, the military came and they have cleared them and given us the opportunity to work. You see, once the right of way is clear, no contractor is interested in just staying in one place like 14 years and all. Once you are paying him, he wants to work. It is not, it doesn't make economic sense to just be at one place and just be there. You know, for instance, I have staff, I would want to deploy them because it's not as if I'll get more money. I want to deploy them on other projects, whether locally or internationally. You see, so if we can begin to think about it this way, and the minister, when he came, he mentioned it, that sometimes we give contracts, you know, to the detriment of ourselves, because you know that certain things are not possible. And then these contracts go out, and then you go and then you hit a snag. And then you, who is the engineer or the contractor, you know, bears the brunt of the public, because the public would not understand what you are going through. So what they are doing for me is very good. It is going to clear the right of way. Anybody who comes in will just go in and work and like hot knife through butter, because construction is not complex. It is not rocket science. You once you follow the principles, you are home and dry. So in not in too many words, I commend this manner or the strategy that the ministry has adopted, so far as this project is concerned, so that it moves very fast. Once the contractor comes on, the contractor, whatever work he is going to do can be programmed. Okay, and once the program is there, he cannot complain that, oh, I had this property, I had this the utility. Those things would have been cleared. And even for we unluckily we are working in the urban area. So that's with urban, let us try and relocate. Let us clear the right of way so that the contractor who comes onto the road will be able to work unhindered.
Thank you so much, Engineer Kwabena Bempong, for your time, your insights, and for your work. We've been taking you across the country, looking at the effects of the rains on our roads, but also updating you on some key road projects. And I'm sure a few of you are wondering, when will my road be featured in this series? We'll come back to this in due course. My name is Bernard Avle. Thanks for watching. We thank our correspondent, Akwesi Ado from the Central Region, Akwesi Ajeni from the Western Region, and Christopher Kelvin Asima, who is in our newsroom but was on the Volta Region beat for this particular time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.